Here we go.
All right. Good afternoon, good morning. This is Michael Youngblood checking in from Bogota, Colombia. Tom Roger checking in from Amsterdam. So we're super stoked to be here, to be sharing a ton more information with everybody who has shown interest, who has signed up. And so that's really the purpose of this Google Hangout. What we're going to do is we're going to spend about an hour just sort of walking through a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of more information for you guys, and tell you a lot more about this trip that we're planning. So throughout the Google Hangout, you can ask questions by posting a comment on the YouTube page. We'll also monitor email and things like that, but the best place is to post a comment on the YouTube page below the video. We'll monitor that and we'll answer your questions either as we go or at the very end. And we have a lot of stuff to get to. I'm just going to start us off by, I think, telling everybody how this all got started. And that was, gosh, that was May 2014. Roger and I and 30 of our other friends had gone on a sailing trip, a vacation through the Caribbean, actually, in the Virgin Islands. And we realized on this sailing trip, and it was actually Roger, him and I were sitting on a beach one of the last days, and he pointed it out that just looking around at the 30 people on this trip with us, realizing how so many of us had careers, had jobs, had businesses that allowed us to work remotely, that we thought, why are we just having a vacation in the traditional sense? Why can't we combine a true vacation with a work experience, or combine a work experience in a vacation setting? And you know, that trip, much like the trip to Bali, you know, produced great friendships and a lot of collaboration coming out of it. And Roger and I and quickly Tom, who is Roger's business partner, really quickly began talking about doing a work trip in a vacation-like setting. And before we knew it, we were arriving to Bali in November of last year, November of 2014, and we spent a month together. With that trip was bigger. We had about 40 entrepreneurs come from all over the world. You know, at least 15 countries joined us in Bali. It really was, you know, truly meaningful, I think, for me, for Tom, for Roger, for everybody on the trip. And I really think, I mean, Bali is an amazing place. Curacao is an amazing place. But really the people who were on the trip is you know, what fundamentally made that an amazing experience, and that's why you hear us talk so much about, you know, the people and the value we place on that. You know, just going on the weekend excursions, yeah, it was amazing to go diving, you know, in places like Bali or Curacao, but to do that with amazing people who you have friendships with, who you have, you know, career interests with, that you're sharing just, you know, personal development goals with, makes it so much better. So I think we should do a short introduction, since this might be the first time you're seeing our face. I'm Michael Youngblood. I am from the United States. I'm from South Carolina. Lived in DC for the past five or 6 years. Moved to Bogota, Colombia, where I have a startup publication. I basically spend, you know, sort of full time on the startup publication. I do sort of live a partially digital nomadic life where I travel all over the place, and that's me. I'm active in sports and activities, and I just love, you know, meeting amazing people. Roger, Tom.
Tom? So my name is Tom. I'm from Amsterdam. I run a business together with Roger, and I actually have been to Curacao before. I spent 6 months there doing my internship. I loved it. And it's one of the reasons why I want to go back, because I love it so much. And I want to do it on the next level with more awesome people, and have an incredible time over there.
Cool. Hi, I'm Roger. born in the Netherlands, working and living in Amsterdam at the moment. And like when it comes to the nomadic lifestyle in the past 7 years, I've been spending at least a month living somewhere else. Been Washington D.C., San Francisco, China, all different places. Bali last year, of course, not to forget. As Tom said, running a business together with Tom, I love traveling. I love to meet new people, learn new things, and do that in the best possible environment with amazing people. And I think that's what's really driving me personally to organize these kind of trips, retreats. Been doing a lot of different of them in the past, and as Michael explained, we were really thinking how to combine the best of two worlds and basically spend your work with a holiday feeling. So you walk out of your office and are on your holiday, basically. Yeah, so that's a bit about the background. Michael?
Yeah, just a reminder, yeah, post questions. We know people are going to be joining here and there, going. We know it's early on West Coast time in the United States, where we have several people who are signed up or coming. This video will also be posted as a YouTube video on our website. So ping us questions now or throughout. It's probably also worth mentioning before we really just dive into sending you guys a ton of information that we're really just three friends who truly want to live this lifestyle, and so we just see ourselves as co-organizers of this. We've thought a little bit about truly putting a business together around this. Other people have done that, but for us, this is really more about us living a lifestyle. We go on every single one of these trips. I mean, it's been 6 months since we did the one in Bali. That was epic, and it really took us 6 months to find a location that we truly think is just world class. And up to the standards that we really look forward to. So I think Roger's gonna sort of lead us off and take us through the general idea, the location, and really start getting down to the details of this trip.
Cool. So you see that my face is somewhere in your Google Hangout or YouTube area. If you're joining the live Hangout, you can click on it. For the people who are not, I'm gonna click on it so you can actually see the screen. Let's see. What's the easiest?
There it is.
Yeah. So is the screen shared now? I'm not sure.
There's a delay of a minute.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, anyhow, most of you have seen the website and gotten some kind of impression about the background. I want to take you through a couple of different things. Let's see, so let's start with the house. We have a house that can host up to 26 people. That's including us as organization. And basically, if you look at the house, there are 3 apartments here at the bottom side. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but basically on the left and the right side of the pool. And there is a main villa behind it. Total accommodation for 26 guests. A bit, but the general idea for the whole month, basically, as Michael also explained, we want to spend a month working and living from a very exotic and awesome place, great temperature, and basically having the time and the dedication to really work on something. That can be learning a new thing, that can be finishing a project and don't get interrupted by coworkers, that can be whatever you want. So basically everybody who is joining us on the trip can work on whatever they want themselves. There are no shared projects or no shared work kind of things. I read that a couple of you asked about that. So basically the whole month, nothing is obligatory. You can work on anything you want yourself. But there's a great thing. You're surrounded by amazing people, a lot of different disciplines and a lot of different fields of knowledge. So what we experienced last time on the trip on Bali is that a lot of people start interacting with each other and start teaching each other and learning new things from each other. So we did like a class on hacking, we did a class on private security, online marketing, web development, web design, WordPress. There's like tons of different disciplines, and basically we're going to facilitate the self-organized workshops during the month. So for me, that was a tremendous amount of fun. So back to the story about the house. So the main villa, the 3 apartments, we're going to have all rooms are equipped with air conditioning, and they're also like how do you say, safe in safes for your passport and stuff, whatever you want to safeguard in the house. Plenty of them. And basically there's also regular cleaning of the beds and the sheets, and you don't have to bring anything. You can bring a beach towel, but basically the bedding and the sheets and a towel will be provided by us. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to know. When it comes to power plugs, etc., it's going to be the same ones as you use in the States. So the double pin. We're going to make sure that we have a couple of how do you call them, power strips, power cords, so that everybody can plug in multiple devices. As you can see, we have quite a big villa. There's nobody else making use of the whole compound. We rent out the whole facility. It's gated. I don't know if there's like a gate in front of it, but it's like completely surrounded by
it's
by
completely
walls.
surrounded by a wall, and there's even a gate in front of like the parking space. So if you have a car or if you're going to rent one, your car is going to be completely safe because it's behind a gate.
So the good thing about the villa and the location we chose is that it has so many different little work spots, little areas, so everybody can, you know, either sit at a place where other people are sitting or completely surround yourself with nothing and quietness. What we're also going to do is within the villa, we're going to make sure that there's like a dedicated workspace, so where we have like some sort of quiet area where we can make sure that you can do whatever you want in whatever concentration mode or mental state of mind you are. Let's see, when it comes to food and drinks, we're going to make sure that there is fruit, there's going to be snacks, there's going to be sodas, there's going to be tons of drinking water to make sure that everybody can keep hydrated. We will take care of all that stuff, and we're going to see if we can find some water jugs that we can put in the main kitchen. There are 4 different kitchens in total, but what we're going to do with dinner, we're going to see if we can self-organize the dinners to make sure that we actually focus on the social activities. Like what we did on Bali, we had food organized by us, but there were a lot of people with a lot of food restrictions, diets, preferences, etc. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have that self-organized. So we'll take care of some basic snacks and stuff. And as Michael also said, we're going to do a barbecue, and we're going to focus on some kind of social food activities. But what we would like to do is like come up with something like cooking groups where people can how do you say, suggest that they will cook for a night, and people will chip in and join for dinner. We did that a couple of times on Bali, and that worked out really well, and it was actually a lot of fun. And then there's a lot of diversity because we can really harness the true potential of all the all the cultures when it comes to food. Let's see. So some other things about the villa. As you can see, a lot of different areas, a lot of different spaces. We have a pretty fast internet already with the regular 32 megabit connection that's already there. We sent the owner of the house some verification that this is actually the speed for the house. What we're also doing right now, we're making sure that we can double that capacity. It's not a promise, but we're working on it, and like from what we heard, it's very doable. We're going to double the capacity for download and upload, and we will also bring a boatload of Wi-Fi gear and range extenders so that there will be Wi-Fi throughout all the houses, throughout all the different houses and apartments, and throughout all the rooms. So don't worry about that. We will take care of that aspect. Outside of the house, we'll also make sure that everybody will get a SIM card, a local SIM card with some minutes on there and 2.5 gigabytes of data. So we can make sure that everybody has the ability to work or connect from wherever they want. Let's see. There are also a couple of co-working locations on the island, in the city, somewhere on the outside of the city. So when it comes to pricing, etc., for that, they're very affordable, and some of them you can actually work for free. So when it comes to our mentality, when it comes to working and living there and finding the right balance for that, we applied this on Bali, and we're also going to apply this to how we're going to do this month. We prefer to work hard during the week and play hard during the weekend. So we're going to try to have a regular week, like work week, and then in the evenings, in the afternoons, we'll harness the potential of the fact that we're on Curacao, and in the weekends we're gonna make sure that we participate in some activities. Tom will tell you more about the different things that we can do and the amazing nature that's around. Let's see, did I miss anything about the location?
Because there's a main villa and some apartments, it also means that there are multiple kitchens. So we have a main kitchen in the villa, but each apartment also has a small kitchen with their own fridge, microwave, coffee machine, whatever. So there's enough room to cook if you want to prep your special meal, and the main kitchen is completely occupied. And there's enough space for everyone to fill up a fridge if you have some special soya milk or almond milk or whatever you're into. So that's another thing about the kitchens.
Yeah, and about the bedrooms. So as we said, every room has air conditioning in there, and the rooms will have 2 beds. So the 3 apartments have 2 rooms with 2 beds, and all the other rooms, like the maximum amount of beds, like are there single rooms? I think all the rooms have 2 beds, separate beds. So if you have a preference to share your room with a specific person, we'll take care of that the moment we do like a sign-up list and sharing all the information before we start doing the trip. I think
the rooms are pretty big too. It's not like you're in a college dorm. We've seen the floor plan, and so you're not squeezed in there like you're 19 years old. It's roomy, and plenty of bathrooms in there, and showers, and it's comfortable. I think, as you can tell from the photos, it's comfortable.
Yeah, like this is like a floor plan of the ground floor of the villa. So this is the outside, and you see that there's like the studio bedrooms, and like you see these bedrooms, they're pretty big. They're almost as big as the kitchen itself. So yeah, if you see plenty of space for that. But from what I learned on Bali is that you want to be outside of your room. So
This place is mostly used for things like wedding receptions, so they have to be, high class for those sort of guests. So it's, as you can see, it's a nice place, plenty of space. We'll arrange beds so there's space in the rooms, and it'll be a good setup.
All right. So let's see. Did I forget anything about the house?
I think you got it.
All right. Then we have the background of the island. Tom?
Yeah. So since I already stayed there for 6 months, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the island, the location of it, and something about culture. So Curacao, it is located off the coast of Venezuela, and you have Bonaire and Aruba surrounding it. It's quite easy to hop on a plane and go there for a weekend trip if you want. There are multiple flights coming daily from Amsterdam, New York, and Miami, and also some local airlines who fly from Curacao to the mainland. If you look at Curacao and we zoom in a little bit, our house is located in the southeast of the island. It's near Spanish water, and that's like the bay with all the big villas and luxury yachts and all that stuff. You know where it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you zoom in on the house?
Yeah.
So we are pretty close nearby a beach and a few beach clubs. One of them is Zanzibar, Curacao Beach. They have been constructing a nice supermarket and boulevard and restaurants, casinos. Everything is located only 3 minutes away from us by car, and probably around 10 to 15 minutes of walking, so that's really close by. The main center of Willemstad, which is like the city of Curacao. There are some other cities, but they're more like villages. It's not very big. There are not a lot of facilities. So it's Willemstad, which is the city, and then some other small places. You can go by car to Willemstad in around 15 to 20 minutes, and everything is there in Willemstad. You have a lot of nice restaurants, casinos, even the cruise ships port at over there. If you look at the population of Curacao, there are around 150,000 people living there. That are mostly native people who are born there, but there's also a very large community of international students who do their internship there, like me, and other big group of expats. Curacao is has a very good tax structure, so a lot of big companies and banks all have offices on the island to accommodate those people, like PricewaterhouseCoopers and other trust fund businesses. So there is a very broad mix of expats, students, and people who are born there. That is why English gets you around very easily. Dutch as well, if there's less people joining. And the native language is Papiamento, which is sort of a cross between Spanish and Portuguese. It's their own language, and you'll get to learn a few words very quickly when you're there. About the money, you can pay with US dollars, although it's not advised. Because they have very bad convergency rates when you pay with US dollars. So the best thing to do is go with your credit card to an ATM. There are plenty of ATMs around the island, and get some Italian guilders, which is the local currency they use. You can pay everywhere, and every supermarket or a clothing shop or retail, they all have debit and credit card machines. So if you run out of money, that's not a problem. But the best thing to do is just go there and get some local currency. Because we are on a very nice, beautiful island, that means that everything that is there regarding food and other products has to be shipped over there from the mainland or even from Europe. There's a flight every day from Amsterdam to Curacao with Dutch products. So what you need to think of is that everything that's like really Western food is going to be more expensive. Everything that can be shipped from Venezuela or nearby countries is going to be cheap. So if you want some nice meat or fish or veggies that grow nearby, it's going to be a super cheap month for you. If you want to have like a bottle of Heineken, or if you want to have that granola or whatever, then it's going to be more expensive. So if you need anything that that's only locally available for you in your hometown, just take it with you, because that's going to be way cheaper than buying it there. About other food, there's a very broad range of restaurants. You can get from really budget restaurants to really high-end restaurants. Every beach has a nice restaurant on it, so if you are out on a Saturday and you chilled a lot, and on the way back you stop by another beach and you grab some food, that's going to be totally epic. And there are a lot of food trucks. They're called turkey buns, and they're just basically vans, and they put in a barbecue in it, and they make a lot of meat sandwiches and soups. So I'm a real fan of those. Like after a nice day at the beach, just grab some nice meat sandwiches on your way back and enjoy them with a nice beer.
They also have a lot of fish, right?
Also a lot of fish, yes. I'm more of a meat person, so I love that more, but yeah, plenty of fish as well. Regarding transport on the island, it's recommended to rent a car or share a car with someone else in the house, especially if you want to go to Willemstad or to West Point, which is the less populated area of the island, where the more beautiful beaches are. Then it's an absolute must to get a car, because from our house to like the most western point of the house is going to be a drive like 45 minutes. You cannot drive that fast, so in kilometers or miles it's not that far, but you have a certain speed limit. Also, if you want to go to a co-working space every day, or you have some other plans, it's recommended to get a car. If you want to stay nearby but you want to be mobile, a scooter is definitely an option. Walking, not recommended. There's no lighting on the streets at all, so especially if it gets a little bit darker and everything, definitely a no-go to walk. If you want to go to the beach, then yeah, sure, you can definitely do that little walk.
And Tom, cars are pretty affordable for long-term rental, and people can throw in and organize that on their own, correct?
So you have like the global rental companies. If you're gonna stay for like the 2 weeks, it might be better to do that. If you're going to stay for a full month, it might be better to rent from a local company because of the students coming by. They have a lot of companies who rent out cars for like 1 month up to 6 months, and they're pretty cheap. So if you want us to hook you up with a local supplier of the car, just drop us a message, and we'll try to get you a nice supplier of a car. They're not going to be like the bright, shining new cars. No, they're all cars that come from the US, and they repair them and they let you drive it. So they're probably going to have a couple of dents, but they work perfectly fine, and it's part of the adventure. Then the weather and the culture, or the weather on the island, it's pretty stable throughout the whole year. There's around 9 hours of sun when we are there, and it will be a stable, a steady 28 degrees Celsius or 84 Fahrenheit when we're there. So that's going to be a pretty nice temperature, better than
very nice. Yeah, so very nice. He's pretty modest about it, but it's going to be really good weather. Like, and a lot of people asked about, but the hurricane season. Well, not in Curacao. The hurricane season is not going to hit Curacao, so don't worry about that. It's going to be stable. The weather is going to be amazing, and we're very, very, very lucky that the weather is going to be epic, because the place is amazing. There's a boatload of sun hours, and there's going to be all the stuff we want. So beaches, good weather, good food, and what is left? Good people. Yes.
So talking about beaches, there are a lot of white beaches, clear blue seas all over the island. Most of the stuff is in the south of the island is bought by hotels, which you can also access. It's around $3 to $5 US to get a day pass on that beach, and they have some nice sunbaths and toilets and everything with that. In the west of the island, there's also a part where they're just free to go, and it's very cool to just get your car out, drive around the island, and just do a small beach hopping tour. Lay around on the beach for an hour, then hop in your car again, go to the next beach, jump off some nice cliffs, eat some amazing local food over there. Yeah, it's amazing. And
so they have 2 beaches, right? 2 main beaches that you talked about before.
Like the most beautiful beach is called Grote Knip. I think you're gonna probably show us.
So that's this one.
So that is the best beach. It's free and it's super nice. There are a lot of other beaches where you can go to. It's like every beach is different. Every beach has a different setup. There's different food, different kind of drinks, more like party beaches, some are like super quiet beaches. Some have really nice restaurants on it. Some have only like a small local guy with a barbecue serving you food. Like, if you can just pick a beach, go there, enjoy it, and it's going to be different every time you come there.
And the other one was with snorkeling with turtles, you said?
Yes, that's the trip actually. Next to Curacao, there's a small island, small Curacao. It's around 2 hours to get there by a boat. There are a lot of suppliers doing day trips over there, and you can you hop on the boat in the morning, you go there, you have a nice day on a completely deserted island with the clearest water and the whitest beaches I've ever seen. And there's like a 90% chance that you can swim with turtles. I've been there twice. I've swam with turtles both times. It's super amazing. And after you had that amazing experience, you hop back on the boat. They're going to serve you some nice barbecue, have some drink with it, and just chill on the boat in a nice sun and weather. And it's so super amazing. If you are more into really active stuff instead of beaches, there's a small mountain called Christoffel Mountain. It's around 900 meters high, and you can do a hike to the top. It is pretty steep. I know some people who did it on flip-flops. Not recommended. Just take your hiking shoes or your running shoes, or at least some closed shoes, and get to the top. And if it's a nice clear day, you have a complete view over the whole island, and it's amazing. One other thing to mention is mosquitoes. It's very important that you wear some mosquito repellent. We're probably going to get some for everybody, but if you have some special skin condition, or if you can take like the really aggressive stuff, please bring your own. But it's definitely important to wear mosquito repellent at all times, because otherwise your legs are gonna be sore, really sore.
Let's see. So, what other things do we have to discuss when it comes to location?
So, car recommended, but definitely you can share a car if you're gonna work, and if you're gonna, you're not gonna hit up the beaches on your own. So, probably get a car with someone else. If you're gonna stay a full month, let us know. We're gonna try to hook up with a local rental company. If you're gonna stay for a short period, might be easier to get it with your Sixt or Hertz or whatever global companies there are out there. Mosquito repellent, very important, and you gotta love tropical beaches, because that's the whole island. It's so amazing. I think that's pretty much everything about the island itself. Michael, you're gonna talk a little bit more about the event?
Yeah. So, and maybe Tom, Roger, you guys can go check for questions, because in just a couple of minutes we'll go through any remaining questions that everybody's been sending us. And if you want to post a question, and if you're viewing this on YouTube, post a question in the comment box below the video, and we'll get to those in just a few minutes, as well as other questions that you all have sent us. So let's talk about the actual people who are joining us. So we will completely fill up this house, and that means there'll be about 24, 25 people at a time, on the location. And there'll be a mix of people who are staying the entire month, and then there'll be a mix of people who are coming for the first 2 weeks and the second. And so it is. Go ahead.
Quick question, Michael. Comments are working?
Yeah, the comments are working.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, continue. Go ahead.
Great. So there will be a good dynamic of people coming and going, but most people everybody will be there for really at least 2 weeks. I think, as we said at the beginning, nationalities are far and wide. So far we have people signing up, or significant interest from half the countries in Europe, the United Kingdom, Ireland, Argentina, Mexico, North America, Nairobi, Southeast Asia, Australia. So people literally from all over the world, and that's something that we really try to get that diversity in terms of where people come from, as well as what people do. Ourselves, Tom, Roger, and I are all entrepreneurs. We're all co-founders of some organization, which is our day-to-day life and our job. Most people on the trip, or at least as percentage-wise, the highest percentage of people are actually sort of a founder or co-founder of an organization. Secondly, just behind that, there's a lot of freelancers who will be joining us. So people who maybe they're a designer and they can just sort of work from wherever because they usually work from home or co-working space. And then there's a group of people who also just have awesome jobs, and I want to meet their boss because their boss is like, yeah, you can go off and work remotely for a month. But I think as we, if you pay attention to this sort of thing, it's becoming a major trend. I mean, all the Virgin companies, Richard Branson's, portfolio companies, they now have unlimited vacation time. So it's, I think companies are just realizing that, and it's something that I personally saw and Tom and Roger saw. When you're able to work in a place like this, with an amazing group of people, your productivity goes up, your personal life, goes up. I truly believe that what we organize, the people we bring here, it's at least as good, unparalleled with companies in Silicon Valley that really create these incredible workspaces. And yeah, so that's a little bit about some of the people. There's probably a lot of developers I've noticed, a lot of designers, some consultants. A couple examples are, people working some contracts at the United Nations, with the World Bank. There's some designers who just sort of got long-term contracts and need to go sort of heads down for some time. There's also some people who are sort of in a reflective mode, which we found in Bali was a really sort of great addition to the trip. For example, I think we have an expectant father on the trip. Some people coming out of serious relationships, some people in some significant career transition moments, and that sort of intentional reflection. I don't think you could find a better time to do that than with an amazing group of peers who have similar careers and also think deeply about some of these big picture things. We will sometime in about the next week to 10 days we will open a Facebook group for those who have signed up, and so you will actually begin to meet people and see who these people are, but we're just waiting for a few more days to do that. Let's see, in terms of payment, I think everybody should have received an email. So deposits are due. Not everybody has paid a deposit, so in order to fully confirm your space, we really recommend doing that as soon as possible because the house is going to book, and it's going to book pretty quick. Email me directly. You've seen my email address, so email Michael directly. If you have any questions about that, or if you just want to touch base, one-on-one about your deposit process, it's better just to touch base than not to. Cancellation policy, we are going to put that in writing, so we'll send a big follow-up email with a lot of the logistics coming out of this call. That's much better to put into writing. We think you'll find it flexible. We think you'll find us not being assholes about this. We just don't want to get in a position where we're screwed ourselves. So that'll come in writing. Final payment will be due September 12th. That's just about 3 weeks away. We'll also send that in a follow-up email. What else have we not covered, guys?
I saw that some people posted some questions. So Robert asked about the location in the house regarding work. We don't have 230 outlets, I think. Everything is 115.
127.
Oh yeah, that 127. We will bring everything regarding working properly, so we'll make sure that we have a dedicated area that is really meant to work. So we're not going to do dinner and all that stuff over there. We'll make sure that we get the proper chairs. And if anybody wants to bring a monitor or bring keyboards, whatever devices you want, it's not going to be any problem at all. We'll make sure that the area and that the house is properly arranged to facilitate that. We actually saw the same. We did a similar way on Bali, and I think that worked out perfectly fine. Nobody said anything about that, and that everybody was able to work, get a boatload of things done. For me personally, and I think Tom has the same, we actually spend too much time working and getting stuff done. It's a slight thing we regret, so we're going to do a little bit more trips, hopefully, but there's a very, very good working ethic when it comes to the people that are joining.
And especially at all times, because I'm more like a night person, so there were days I went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then people were coming out of bed to work again. And there's like a 24-hour cyclus of people just putting in everything they got to work the most, and then after that, go to the beach, chill out, have fun, have great conversations. Everything is happening.
Yeah, and we both actually have activity trackers running on our laptops, and we did some statistical analysis. Like we worked at least 30% more hours and were at least 20% more productive during our time on the Bali co-working retreat. And besides of that, like I really have a good feeling about the activities that are there, like the meditation or yoga classes. Michael, I think your girlfriend, she's also joining for 2 weeks,
yep.
And she's a yoga teacher, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so there will be yoga classes, and like we have plenty of space in and around the house to do yoga sessions. So that's going to be, a lot of fun. Let's see, other questions we have.
I'll say one quick thing before a question. This trip is what you make of it. If you love to wake up at 7 a.m. and get a good workout in the morning, people will do that with you. We did that almost every day in Bali. People also, there's a CrossFitter. She went to a local box. There are gyms nearby. I might bring my road bike and go cycling every day because it is what you make of it. Think of Roger, Tom, and me as your facilitators to make a extraordinary month come true. And we need to solve a problem. Yeah, we help you solve problems as well, but we're mostly facilitators. So, for example, if you want to go diving, we're not actually going to, book a diving for you, but we will, be able to call around and make the best recommendations of the diving companies that have, the great reputations out there.
I'm probably going to join you.
Yeah, and we're likely going to join you. We're here to have. This is why we love to think of this as sort of a lifestyle for us and not a job for us, because we want to go down there and make it the best month of our lives. And if we can do that, we know that's being successful for everyone else on this trip as well.
I saw another question about my experience on the island in the population.
Tom is his name.
Tom, yeah, Tom. Sorry. No, they're very sociable. It's completely okay to go everywhere, except for like one neighborhood, which you're never gonna reach anyway. But like one neighborhood, don't go there. The rest of the island, completely fine. In my own experience, you go when I went to places. I never had one hostile situation experiencing of coming to me, and I haven't heard a lot of stories of that happening. Of course, it happens, but that's everywhere around the world. If you just do normal and have fun with everybody, nothing strange is going to happen. And I really liked working there in the company because it was a mix of people coming there from the Netherlands and people who live there, and it's such a great mix. And picking up some of their culture, and it still stuck with me because, like, in taste of food, I still completely love like the cuisine they have over there, and I'm already excited on some of the dishes I'm gonna enjoy, and I'm really looking forward to meet some old friends I have there. Yeah. So regarding the population, they're totally cool.
Well, and regarding to the people, like if you see what kind of people are joining, as Michael explained, and of course you will get to know them before we even start the event. You don't know what's going to happen. Like if you see these people together, like everybody in the whole group has such a huge background and experience in all different fields: profit, non-profit, tech, arts. We've seen athletes, all different people combined. That for me personally is such a huge value of being so involved with these kind of things. And I bet that everybody in the group will totally love it. And I'm really looking forward personally to share all the different things that we've seen in the world, stories, things we learned. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's see, Michael?
I'm more than happy to do one-on-one calls with anybody coming out of this. The best way, if you have additional questions, email me directly. We'll get to those questions. Some questions are better one-on-one. Some of them are better to address as a group.
I saw that there was also a question about somebody asking if it's possible to do a 4 a.m. Skype call. Yes, that's not a problem at all. We had multiple people, well, since we had so many different nationalities and people with different backgrounds, we basically had people working round the clock when we were on Bali. And it's not going to be a problem to do Skype calls or to do 4 a.m. Meetings. We'll make sure that all the rooms are, the environment is going to be prepped for that. So don't worry about that. There's fast internet and there's good and quiet workspace to actually get your stuff done. And if you want to work in private, you can also we'll take care of that part.
The first thing we'll do when we get there is really sort of a welcome session, which will be half of the session. Think of it as a half-day session. The first couple hours we really want to set this off on the right tone, and so we're just going to go sort of deep in introductions instead of just shaking hands. We're going to sit down for a couple hours in a facilitated conversation and really get to know one another, because we're going to spend some time with each other. And then the second half of this sort of welcome group, we will begin to go through things, logistics. I don't think Tom mentioned this, but he's essentially a network engineer, and he can basically reprogram and rebuild this internet network at the house so that it does optimize things like Skype calls over watching animated videos online. So we will go through all that sort of stuff. As we've said, in Bali, every single night. I was working on U.S. time, halfway around the world. Every single night, people were having to have Skype calls and to log into to work management systems from remotely. So this is the whole purpose of the trip, is to go down there and to be able to work in a great location. So we're very mindful of this, and we're not going to be successful. I'm lucky this time because I'm working on my own hours in U.S. time zone, but Tom and Roger will be working at night again.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to be a problem at all. Let's see. So we have some other questions. Michael, maybe this one is for you. How workable, useful is a bicycle there for getting around? Maybe for Tom.
Maybe for both of us.
Yeah, you're gonna do it for sport. For me, it's more like a transportation thing. Like, it's not advised to bicycle there when it's getting dark. And aside from that, I know some people who went to their jobs on a bike. It can be done, but there are no separate roads for bikes, because there's a little asphalt next to that is dirt, and on the asphalt every now and then there's a big hole in it. So if you are a pro cycler and you know what you're doing and you're into that stuff, you can definitely do it. But if you want it as a serious means of transportation to go around the entire island, it's probably not going to work for you. If we're close to the beach, if you want to go there really quick and you want to work in a beach bar or that sort of stuff, bike can definitely work out for you. But as a real means of transportation around the entire island, I think it's a no-go, but I don't know how athletic you are. Maybe you cycle Tour de France. I have no clue.
I'm glad that you asked that question because I did mention that, and it's good to clarify. I'm bringing mine because I can't live without my bike. I'm a cyclist, and so that's just my mode of working out every day. So I am somebody who rides in the road at 20 miles an hour, and I do that everywhere I go in the world. But yeah, it's transportation. I mean, it's. I think everybody will find it's easier. We can send information to these car rentals, but you throw in with a few people in a car, and it's super easy to get around and super inexpensive. So.
Let's see. So, did we talk about the activities already, Michael?
About the what?
Activities during the month.
Yep, there are unlimited water activities. Amazing diving, snorkeling if you're not a diver, kiteboarding, which I've never gotten into, but I think this is going to be my month. Wakeboarding. Boat rentals, spearfishing, deep sea fishing, in addition to, all the sort of on the island activities of the beach clubs and swimming and beaches. Again, we're going to be doing all these things ourselves. We're going to facilitate the hell out of, amazing adventures. In Bali, average weekend, the majority of people might plan a trip together. So you might have 10 or 15 people sort of going out on sort of a weekend adventure. So I'd say that's likely of, people are going to self-organize these trips and say, who wants to go diving Saturday? We'll have a whiteboard and an online place to be able to self-organize these types of things. And it's just about, what do you want to do and how can we help make it happen?
Let's see.
About the cost of living on the island. It's a very broad range because you have very low budget restaurants. If you go to the supermarkets, you can get meals really cheap. If you are gonna go out every night and go to the most expensive restaurants, you're gonna have you need to have a little bigger budget. But as I mentioned before, like fish, meat, and local vegetables, they're super cheap. You can make awesome meals with them, and we have a pretty good barbecue in the house. So I think there will be a lot of barbecues going on in groups. Because there are also a lot of students on the island, a lot of restaurants and clubs and beach bars. They are really into like the whole happy hour thing, or Wednesday salad night, where they give it like for $5 you have a really proper salad for your dinner. So there's a lot of variety in how you can spend your money, and you can make it as cheap as you want. You can make it as crazy as you want.
Let's see. So shall we talk a little bit about the arrival and the check-in?
So 12 o'clock on the 14th, we are gonna have the property. So if you want, you can join us and check in. We're gonna send out a spreadsheet to everybody who sign up and pay their deposit, in which you can fill in your arrival and departure dates. So when when we have to when we can assign a room to you, because it's a little puzzle for us in which we can try to make everybody fit. And we also need your emergency contact if you have any allergies and that sort of stuff, so that if anything happens to you, we know who to contact and who to reach. Regarding visas, online you can find the entire list of countries on which you can get a visa on arrival. The basic visa on arrival is 14 or 15 days. But if you say, okay, I'm going to stay longer than that, they give you a 30-day visa on arrival. You need to have travel and medical insurance for that. That's a must. Besides from that, if you have multiple entry visa for the US or the European Union, you're automatically selected for the visa on arrival card. So if a country that's not on the list for the visa on arrival, but you have one of those two, you can get a visa on arrival anyway. If there are any Dutch people joining, they have a 180-day visa. So it's very easy for them to stay longer, or if they're going to put an extra trip and fly back from that,
yeah,
it's
so
going to be
basically
okay.
what you're saying, it's not a big deal. The visa, they're fairly easy with all the visa procedures, and wherever you're coming from, I think Kenya was like a formal application. There's like a whole list of stuff online. It's easy to find, but in general, most of it is fairly easy and not hard to take care of.
I would reemphasize, though, travel insurance is required to literally, enter through the visa process, as well as for us, it's a very inexpensive thing to get. It's well worth it. We're going to require, proof of it, as well as the country entering is going to require proof of it. So it's just one of those things that you should have if you travel out of the country, and it'll come in. Hopefully it won't come in hand here, but it's just an insurance policy.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, if you need a visa and you need to apply for it, there are no Curacao embassies anywhere around the world, so you need to go to the Dutch one because Curacao is part of the Dutch kingdom. So if you go there, you can apply for an official visa if you're not on the list of the visa on arrival countries. Besides from that, we also have like a liability waiver, and for everybody who signed up, made their deposit, we're gonna send those out to you in the coming weeks, and we like them to sign them digitally, and that is just so that if you get in a car accident, you cannot charge us for a couple of $million US, and we're going to be totally broke. There's no really fine print, but it's just like a thing to cover our ass a little bit if some hell breaks loose.
Yeah, so basically it's also to as Michael already mentioned, we're not doing this for profit. We're three friends organizing this because we really love it. And yeah, for that reason, we just want to keep it that way, and for you to let us know that you agree with that. We need you to sign that. Not of a big deal. Let's see, other important things that we need to know. So traveling to and from. So as Tom mentioned, the check-in is at noon. Let's see, and the checkout on the last day is also around noon. We're okay, flexible with the checkout, but the check-in we're very, very strict. It's going to be noon. Did we talk about the transport from and to the airport already? No. We don't know yet if we can promise it, but we're going to see if we can arrange a pickup for the flights. We will let you know the moment everybody's going to fill in their arrival and departure details in the spreadsheet that we're going to send out. So based on that, we can see if we can arrange a pickup from and to the airport. It's not going to be a long ride anyhow, but we'll see if we can arrange anything to make the arrival even more pleasant. And of course, we will be waiting with a fresh and cold beverage for you. Michael, anything else that we?
Yeah, there is a question about the 3G connection on the island. They actually have a 4G connection, so if you're really into streaming a nice NFL match on your phone on a nice tropical beach or whatever sport you're into, you can do that. No, the coverage is pretty good. You have to imagine that, like, if you're on a beach that's really surrounded by rocks, it's gonna be a little bit harder. But the average coverage is awesome. Last couple of years, Curacao has positioned themselves as like a hub for data connections. So they have like fiber connections coming in from the US and South America, and they roll out like fiber networks all over the island. And the cell phone signal also got a really big boost from that. So they have a very good data connection for your cell phone. So if you want to be reachable or email some people from a beach, definitely can be done. I have to mention as well that a lot of beach clubs and beach bars all have free Wi-Fi if you go there. So if you want to grab your laptop and sit at a nice beach in the shade with a bar, and you can do that for sure.
Cool, Michael.
I think that's about it. I think other questions. Let's go one-on-one. We'll think through everything we talked about today. We'll reflect on the questions that we have in the spreadsheet and email, and send a big follow-up email to this. With clear next steps. I mean, otherwise, I think Tom, Roger, and I are counting down the days. I think we're super stoked about this. I think you have a feeling of who we are now. An idea of who's coming on this trip. And each week we're going to share more and more information. So just reach out to me if you feel like you're not getting something, and we'll just continue sharing everything that we can. Guys.
Yeah, so you mentioned to make sure that you do your deposit as soon as possible to confirm your spot. And well, for the serious part, I think that's it. If I look outside and see the weather here in Amsterdam, it's
raining.
It's raining right now, so we cannot wait to fast forward to the 14th and enjoy the sun, enjoy the beautiful surroundings,
and especially get to know all of you who are joining, because I'm looking forward to meet awesome new people, have great conversations, and make some really good new friends.
Cool. So if you have any other questions, email us at Michael, Tom, or Roger at workfromcuracao.com. You can reach the three of us at once by emailing to team@workfromcuracao.com. Yeah, so we're totally stoked to welcome you and having you join us on this amazing co-working experience. Let us know if there are any other questions. And for now, looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.